Alright, well, we finally got a gearbox. Only took me a few days. 140 bucks. So what I got right there is actually out of a 1992 B2000 Mazda. 2 litre carburetor petrol. Pan type box, mate. All we got to do, take the old bell housing off, put the WLT one on there, and we bang on. Alright, I've just removed the gear lever so that doesn't get in my way. I've put my mechanical speedo sensor in down there, and as you see, changed it to a WLT bell housing. Also put the release or thrust bearing on and the lever fork. Now just got to drag it under the truck, smash it on, bolt it up, home and hosed. There you go, it's all in. The tip that all the Ford and Mazda wrecking-in junkyards probably don't want you to know, but there it is, B2000 box. So as long as you get the pan type box, which is found in B2600s, B2200s, some B2000s, some B2000s have the tunnel type, so that's more like a Mazda MX-5 Mazda Bongo box or RX-7 Series 3. You want the pan type box. This is found in Series 5 RX-7s, yeah, the B2600, B2500, 2200, B2200, just all with a different bell housing on, and in some cases a different tail shaft housing, but still in general it's the same center gearbox. Change the bell housing, change the tail shaft if you have to, and everything is just as it should be. Does the ratio change when you put a petrol box in it, going from a diesel? No, they're the same. Well, I believe they're the same anyway. The ratio is determined by your final drive down at the end there with the diff. And I've gone from diesel to petrol gearboxes in this thing quite a few times, and 5th gear is always pulled the same RPM, you know. 4th to 5th has always only had a small little jump between it. The ratios have always been the same. It's never changed. It's only changed when I've gone from petrol diff to diesel diff, or diesel diff to petrol diff is what I went to actually. The amount of people trying to buy this off me, mate, I'm not parting Cliffy out. It'd be like chopping off limbs off your own kid. Jesus. £14. Come on, mate, better turn that tap up a bit. That ain't the juice. Oh, 20, 25, 30, holy shit. Oh, gosh. Something's just popped off. Oh, mate, get back on there. You need zip ties on these when you start running 30 psi. Well, there you go, WLT gearbox for under 200 bucks. Now, I've blown heaps of gearboxes up in this thing. Back in the early days, Cliffy used to be just a WL. I plus T'd him, and from that day on, I just started blowing a gearbox. I reckon I was doing a gearbox every 12 weeks. Like every 3 months, I was blowing 5th or 3rd. If you go back in the videos, I figured out how to rebuild them out of bongo van internals. This was back when it was the tunnel type gearbox. Now, I couldn't find anything. I was looking all over the internet for Ford Courier, like, you know, trying to find what would be the same as a Ford Courier gearbox. I couldn't find anything, and it like literally took me months before, or like so many blown gearboxes before I finally thought, you idiot, it's a Mazda. Start googling Mazda gearboxes. So I started googling Mazda gearboxes, fell onto some rotor website or rotor forums, and stumbled across something that actually was a lot of interest for me and helped me quite a lot with the gearboxes and the Couriers and the B2500s. Basically, there's just two types of gearboxes for the Fords and Mazdas. There's the tunnel type gearbox as shown here. Then you've got your pan type gearbox as shown here. WLTs use the pan type gearbox. So do RX-7 Series 5s, so do B2600s, B2200s, B2000s. Mazda Proceed Marvies have a four-wheel drive. Mazda Proceed Marvies have a four-wheel drive pan type gearbox in them. So change the bell housing over, and you've got a gearbox for a 2006 Ford Courier. For like literally pennies compared to what people will charge you for a 4x4 Courier box. Now the tunnel type gearbox is much the same. That's found in Mazda Miatas, Mazda MX-5s, that's found in Mazda Bongo vans, except it's got a shorter tail shaft housing on it, because the whole gearbox is slightly shorter and because it doesn't need a gear lever in it because they're column change. So it's basically, they're the same gearboxes, two of them, basically the same gearboxes throughout most Fords and Mazdas of the era, rear-wheel drive ones, given a different bell housing or tail shaft configuration. So basically all you're looking for is that pan type box. If you get one out of a Series 5 RX-7 or a B2600, it's the same gearbox. Just make sure you keep your bell housing so you can smash your bell housing on the front of it and you'll be away laughing, no dramas. So there you go. I know for a fact that Pick Apart in Tauranga and Auckland both have B2600s in their yard right now, and if you go online it says that gearboxes are still available and they charge 130 bucks for them. So if you go down there and pull that box out, it'll go straight behind a WLT if you've got the bell housing, and you've just saved what, like 800 bucks? Fuck yeah. So what we got here is a TD06 turbo, top mount manifold, real nice dump pipe, flexi, braided oil line, 38mm wastegate, the pipe to adapt it to, or from that dump pipe to the factory Courier exhaust. So it's all there, ready to bolt on, ready to go. So that'll be bloody tops, mate. So this was all on the Facebook Marketplace for sale or swaps. He wanted swaps for a two-wheel drive Ford Courier gearbox because he had just blown his, and he was taking all of this off his WLT to put the factory one back on. So I jumped all over it because I knew I could replace my box cheap enough. So that'll all be going on old Cliffy in the next video or two, so stick around to see how that goes and see how much boost we make, and hopefully we'll make some more power. We'll definitely be upping the fuel when we stick that setup on, and we've already got the intercooler to match, so see you on the next one.